Once upon a time, in a charming little village near a deep, dark forest, lived a sweet girl named Little Red Riding Hood. She always wore a bright red hooded cloak that her grandmother had lovingly made for her. Everyone in the village adored her, especially her grandmother, who lived on the other side of the forest. One sunny morning, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called her over. "Your grandmother is feeling unwell," she said. "Take this basket of food and medicine to her, but remember, stay on the path and beware of the big bad wolves." Little Red Riding Hood nodded. "I promise, Mother," she said cheerfully and skipped off into the forest. As she walked, she admired the flowers and listened to the birds singing. "Oh, what a beautiful day," she giggled. She spotted some lovely wildflowers and thought, "Grandmother would love these." She picked a few, forgetting her mother's warning to stay on the path. Hiding behind the trees, a sly wolf watched her with gleaming eyes. He stepped out and greeted her with a smooth voice. "Good morning, little girl. Where are you off to?" Little Red Riding Hood hesitated. She remembered her mother's warning, but the wolf seemed friendly. "I'm visiting my grandmother," she said. "She lives in a cottage beyond the forest." The wolf's ears perked up. "Ah, how wonderful. And what's in your basket?" he asked, licking his lips. "Bread, honey, and medicine for grandmother," she answered. The wolf's belly rumbled. He smiled slyly. "What a kind little girl you are. But wouldn't it be nice to take the scenic route? So many more flowers that way." Little Red Riding Hood thought for a moment. "That does sound nice," she said, and off she went deeper into the woods. The cunning wolf, however, took a shortcut straight to grandmother's house. He knocked on the door, disguising his voice. "Grandmother, it's me, Little Red Riding Hood." The sweet old lady, her eyesight weak, smiled. "Come in, dear," she said. But as soon as she opened the door, gulp, the wolf swallowed her whole. Then he put on her nightcap, climbed into bed, and waited. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived, she found the door slightly open. "That's strange," she whispered. She stepped inside and saw someone in grandmother's bed. "Grandmother," she asked cautiously, "what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied, trying to sound like the old woman. "And grandmother, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, my dear." "And grandmother, what big teeth you have," she said, stepping back. "All the better to eat you with," the wolf roared, leaping out of bed. Just as the wolf was about to pounce, a brave woodsman heard the commotion and burst through the door. "Stop right there, wolf," he shouted, raising his axe. The wolf tried to run, but the woodsman was too quick. With one swift motion, he saved Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother, who popped out unharmed. "Oh, grandmother, I was so scared," cried Little Red Riding Hood as they hugged. "Thank you, kind woodsman," said grandmother. "You saved us." From that day on, Little Red Riding Hood never strayed from the path again. And as for the big bad wolf, he never dared to bother them again. Moral of the story: always listen to your parents, trust your instincts, and be careful of strangers, because not everyone who seems friendly has good intentions. Stay on the right path and stay safe.